on this Monday morning, and I hope that you guys have a wonderful week. Just hopping on to do my weekly live. Um, let me know, subscribers. Have I been doing a good job with my consistency? Because I think I have been doing a good job. I think I've been doing a good job. I've been trying to do a live at least once a week on YouTube, just to engage with my subscribers and kind of just build an audience over here that we share the same sentiment, we share the same goals, right? And just on top of that, break the word of God to you guys and tell my story. So I am back on, and let me know if you guys think I've been being faithful, because I think I've been being faithful. But I can't speak of myself. You guys have to speak for me. If you guys are new over here, my name is Deshanti. And might I just add, first of all, before I introduce myself, it's actually snowing outside. You guys can't tell, but it's snowing outside. So, baby, it's cold outside. I got my little drinky drink, and gonna get into it. So, on Saturday, I kind of did an impromptu live where I was talking about the importance and the value of telling your story. I started off talking about Moses' story as if it were my story, and basically talking about the burning bush and how Moses sees this mysterious burning bush. He walks towards it, and the bush starts talking to him. God commands him to take his shoes off, because the place that he's standing is holy ground, right? And then we also spoke about how the burning bush actually had nothing really to do with his overall purpose. However, it was just the thing that God had to do to catch his attention, to be the interesting piece of his story, right? He can easily say to his people, well, I'm here because I encountered a burning bush, and Jesus spoke to me, or God spoke to me through the burning bush, and this is why I'm here. And as simple as that sounds, or as profound as that sounds, depending on how you look at it, the burning bush is not necessarily the main focal point. The main focal point, hello, the main focal point is that you have a story. Everybody has a story, whether you believe it or not. Anybody that has been through something, whether good or bad, something that you've learned, something that's informative, you know, somebody can benefit from that. And so I am a testament of telling your story and the benefits of that. I'm from the U.S. I actually live in Connecticut. Hello, Emmanuel, or Emanuele. Sorry if I said that wrong. And it's actually snowing outside, guys. So I'm just trying to do my due diligence and be faithful with these lives. Okay? It is snowing up here in these tri-state areas. So please, keep us in prayer. And I hope you guys are safe wherever you are. I hope you guys are safe wherever you are. So we're talking about the importance of telling your story, right? Sharing your story. What does that look like? It doesn't have to be something, very specific. Your story could be that you are a mom, a wife, a young mom in a career, and you're trying to, learn something, or you're trying to grow something, grow a vision, build your family home, and that's your story. Hi, welcome from India. Wow, God bless you. I think this is a time where, like, what time is it in India? Because I get a lot of Indian watchers sometimes when I go live, specifically this time of day. So, just to give you a little bit of my story, right? One of the things that actually led me to write a story, From Faith to Favor, that was my first book that I ever wrote. It was about me being just someone that had to have an enormous amount of faith, and then I was able to see the results from that, right? And I saw how it opened up doors of favor. Back in 2017, it was my 21st, it fell on my 21st birthday. I was in Antigua, and when I was in Antigua, I was there for a mission trip, and I was enjoying it, but I just knew that God wanted me to be in Antigua in that moment. I knew. Okay, wow, God bless you. I pray that God will protect you guys in the army. Yeah. Hello. Well, everyone is welcome. No matter where you're from, Indian or wherever. My name is actually Deshanti, so I get a lot of Indians that ask me if I'm Indian. I guess Shanti is a common name. But so I was in Antigua, and I just knew prophetically that I was supposed to be there. I knew that God wanted me to be there, but I didn't know why. And funny enough, and I actually still have it in my phone. Every morning I woke up, I would journal. I would literally just journal my day, like what happened prophetically, what would happen as I would walk on the beach, as I would, experience each day, from the nuances, from like the little things to the big, things that I would never forget, like the big miraculous things. I just wrote it all down. And then the day of my birthday, I believe that God, I'm sorry to be jumping all over the place, but this morning as I was on my way to work, I was actually listening to a song. If you're Christian, there's a song called We're Under an Open Heaven by Miranda Curtis. It's a beautiful song, but it was a song that just fell in my mind, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to listen to this song. And now that I think about it, that day on my 21st birthday, I believe that I was under an open heaven, because I believe that while I was there, the Lord was just downloading certain things to me. I'll never forget. I was at a prominent man of God's home in the daytime, with the group of people that I had gone to Antigua with for the mission trip. And while I was there, it was like the Lord, he didn't even mean to intentionally speak to me in this way, but it was like um, prophetically, he just started prophesying to me. And he was like, wow, like we were outside, and he was like, wow, the glory of the Lord is like literally over you. I'm actually going to leave you in the presence of God. I'm going to go into my house, and I'll leave you out here. And whatever it is, um, whatever it is, I pray that the Lord will just reveal it to you. And I remember I was there, and I had all these feelings. I had this feeling of apprehensiveness, like I was afraid of what I would experience. I had this feeling of peace at the same time. I had this overwhelming feeling of like the presence of God, like the weight and the glory of God was literally resting there. And one thing I remember for sure that God said to me, two things. He said, do not be afraid, and he said, come off of the surface. And then it was in that day as well where he told me that he was going to allow me to write my first book. And he said that the seventh chapter of that book is going to be called Chapter 21. I will never forget it. I always was like, oh, isn't this going to be confusing? Chapter 7 is chapter 21, and that's the first chapter that you gave me. So why is it not even chapter 1? All of these different things. But the moment was just so prophetic and so profound. I remember even when I was there, when the man of God came back, he said that I even see certain limitations in your bloodline. And today is very prophetic because the Lord wants to break those things off of you. The Bible tells us, I think it's in 2 Corinthians 7 verse 13 and 14, where Israel was experiencing a closed heaven. The Bible said that their heaven was like brass, and it was like, what that meant was there was no rain that was coming down, but spiritually the heavens, the favor of God, the blessings, everything had been closed off from them for sin. But then God says in verse 14 to his people, if my people who are called by my name would humble themselves and pray, seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven, and I will heal their land. I will forgive their sins and heal their land. And essentially, I'm going to open back up the heavens over them. And so I felt like prophetically in that moment, the heavens were open, and God gave me the grace to become an author and to actually write my book within, the next couple of years. And so he gave me the title From Faith to Favor, and I didn't realize how much of that book I would be walking through and would be playing out within the next couple of years. I'm talking about literally having moments where I had to hold on to the fact that God said something was going to happen and believe it, and had to hold on to the fact that God said he would take care and provide for me and believe it, even when I saw no results, even when I saw nothing in sight of that thing coming to pass. There were times where I was in college, like right now I'm a dental hygienist, and I'm still in awe. Like I'm hitting my, I'm going into my 7th year now as a dental hygienist. And sometimes I think about when I was in school, the amount of things that happened while I was in school, building up my story from faith to favor. I'm talking about literally having to quit my job, the only little thing that was giving me some source of income to pay the gas, to pay for my school books. There were times where I literally had to give up the job or else I would flunk hygiene school. And there were times where I had no money to even pay for gas. There would be times where I wouldn't even have any money to pay for the insurance on the car. But yet, some way, somehow, because of, my faith in God, that, listen, God, you're the one that told me to go to hygiene school. You're the one that said you would, because I've held on to that kind of a faith, and that was the substance that I held on to. God, some way, somehow, always opened up the door, or always opened up the heavens, that I was able to get some form of breakthrough. I remember there was even a time where I was leaving school, and I was picking up a sister for church, and somebody from the school campus followed me around my town that I lived in, followed me to church. I had one of the oldest cars at that church. There was nothing beautiful about that car, really. It was my baby and I loved it, but there was nothing beautiful. And somebody broke into my 1992 car and stole all my dental equipment. They stole my laptop, and my cousin was able to trace back the laptop and maybe the IP address, because we saw that they were on, I think, my YouTube or on something. And when we traced it back, somebody was using my laptop at 3 a.m. on the college campus. So that's how you know it was a specific setup for me. So when I tell you, like, literally I had to have faith, sometimes people are like, why does God allow us to go through certain things? Why is it that if he's such a good God, we have to experience hardship and we have to experience all of these different things? But can I tell you that sometimes you have to experience these things so that you know how good your God is? And that God can literally write your story so that when you do reach the top of where you're trying to get to, and you do excel to a level of greatness, you can look back and you will never be in ingratitude, if that's a word. You'll never have a lack of gratitude. You'll always remember, listen, God, if you can bring me from, guys, when I tell you, like, I literally had no money in the bank account, like negatives, right? And to see where God has brought me from there to here, it's all a part of God writing your story. So this is what I'm here to tell you today. I don't even know who's watching this, but your hardship sometimes is not necessarily an attack from the enemy, but sometimes God just wants to write your story. Sometimes God just wants to give you something to overcome so that you can help the next person that is going through that same situation. And so in that book, From Faith to Favor, when I tell you I had to have faith from in the area of my finances, in the area of just being, what is the word? Persistent in the midst of chaos. I'm talking about people setting me up in my college so that I would not graduate. I'm talking about from health conditions that I've seen, like, as soon as I graduated, it was like one thing after another. As soon as I graduated from college and I got engaged, and I was getting ready to get married, boom, a sickness hit, which I felt like the enemy thought he was going to have his way. But what the enemy meant for evil, God turned it around for his good. Having to face the possibility of not being able to have children, being told, oh, you might have ovarian cancer. And by the grace of God, God being able to do a miraculous work through me, allowing me to encounter an angel. And yes, an angel. I tell people all the time, I'll never forget this woman who stared at me dead in my eyes as a phlebotomist and said, do you believe in Dr. Jesus? You actually don't have cancer. God is using your story as the woman with the issue of blood. And he said, your faith is going to make you whole. Talk about God literally writing out your story in front of your face. I'm talking about literally me facing the possibility after just getting engaged of not being able to have children, and this angel, okay, the Bible tells us, be careful how you treat people because you may be entertaining strangers unaware. This complete stranger says to me, without even looking at the computer because the computer shut down, looks at me and tells me, you don't have cancer. I'm here to let you know you do not have cancer. This is God's way of seeing if you are going to be like the woman with the issue of blood, where your faith in me is going to actually make you whole. This whole thing is just a setup for the glory of God through your life. He just wants to use you as one of my spiritual mentors would say, as a billboard for God's glory. He wants to see if you're going to give it up or give in, or if you're going to believe in the promises of his word. Right? So I remember just even encountering this angelic person, this angel, right? Because even after the surgery, and by the grace of God, I did not have cancer, as she rightly said. But when I went back to tell her the good news, they looked at me in my eyes and told me, there is no Stacy that works here. You guys, this is documented in the book that I wrote, From Faith to Favor. The lady's name was Stacy. She was dark skinned like me. She had a beautiful white smile. And when I went back there, those people looked at me and told me, there is no Stacy that works here. There's no Stacy that works here. So whether God just sent her one time to work for me and just to bless me, or if that was an actual angel, I don't know. But what I'm telling you here is that pivotal moment was a part of my story that I was able to write. I was able to overcome. And by me writing this, I've been able to impact different lives only by the grace of God. So many of you are actually sitting on stories, things that you've overcome, whether or not it's as drastic as health conditions or financial conditions, whatever you have overcome, or something that you have that's valuable. Let's even look at your careers, right? If you're a teacher, if you are someone that's good at financial advising, you can literally turn that knowledge, that value that you have, and package that into a product or service, which could be a coaching program, which can be a book, a tangible book, which can be a digital product, which would be like a digital course, or digital sheets or spreadsheets or planners or whatever, guides that you can sell, ebooks, and you can literally gain wealth and use something that you've overcome as an asset. Do you know how powerful that is? So I have many videos on my YouTube and even on my Instagram where I talk about how powerful it is to have a book. And I have 3 books. And the reason why it's powerful, many reasons, but one of the reasons why it's super powerful is that it makes you credible. Like, we know, or you know, that you're credible already. You know that you have the ability to teach or coach somebody on this situation. You know that you're able to, if somebody readily or immediately needs attention or help or guidance on this topic, you are readily able to give them this amount of knowledge or this amount of whatever it is, your expertise. You know that, but with a book, that tells other people that, oh, she really is able to give me some knowledge in this area, and or yeah, she's really able to do that because she even has a book on it. Like, she even took the time out to diligently write a book about it, or he took the time out to write a course or to coach, but to actually have a tangible product, right? So all of these things are amazing. I believe that a product is the way to go in 2025. Hear me out. I know we have our 9-to-5 jobs. I know that we have like a lot of side gigs, but one of the most profitable ways that you can earn passive income is by literally packing your value into a book. or packing your value into a product. For me, I'm gonna tell you, it's a book that I would recommend. The other day I interviewed a Christian chemist or a perfumer, who literally did the work, went to school and did chemistry, then continued in continual education in Colombia, to do perfumery stuff. And he could have stopped there, but he actually became a perfumer and makes perfumes. So now, not only is he just going around saying, "Oh, I'm a perfumer, I'm a perfumer," not only is he going around buying Chanel's perfumes and all of these other perfumes, but he took the time to make that one-time investment to teach himself how to extract scents in the form of oils from certain natural resources, whether flowers, whether woods, whether sandal or cedar woods, or whatever it is, right? And when he talks about it, you can tell he's knowledgeable on it because he speaks with such passion. But he took the time. He spent the time and spent the money once, and now he's able to duplicate that and create high luxury products that make people feel how they want to feel. Do you know how powerful a perfume is? If you're a woman like myself that loves to exude femininity, right? If you love to feel feminine, if you love to embrace your femininity, and one of the best ways to do that is with a nice fragrance. You know that you're not leaving the house without smelling good. That's just always been a thing, even for me. I used to say, even if I look crazy, one thing I have to do is smell good. That has always been a thing for me. So, being able to create a craft that every woman actually is running to you for because they want to smell good. Even your kingly men that know that they're dominant, that know that they're powerful, and they want to walk in that masculinity, if that's how you say it, masculinity. Let me not even embarrass myself. I don't know how I don't think I'm pronouncing that right. But you want to walk and embrace your manhood, I guess. You're going to want to have that nice fragrance, right? So this perfumer created these fragrances that people are going to want to pay top dollar for. So he packaged his knowledge, his value, something that he has, into actual tangible products. So one of the easiest ways to do that, like I said, you don't have to go to school to write a book. You don't have to go to school and study a specific thing unless if you want to write about a specific topic. But let's just start with something that you have overcome, and you literally just write an ebook or a physical book, and that is your first product that you made. You spend the time and money and whatever you spent one time into creating that book, and now you can literally work your 9-to-5 job if you love your 9-to-5 job, or you can use that as your main source of income while you have passive income coming in. So I hope that this was helpful for you. But what am I trying to say here? Your story has value. Package that value into a product or service and make you a book. Make you some money and give somebody else the value that you have locked up in here. Because somebody will pay for it. Somebody will pay for it. Right now, I have so many books that I have read and that I'm excited to get my hands on and read, because that author has some value or valuable knowledge that I need. So I'm going to read it because I'm going to better myself by God's grace and my intentionality in 2025. And I think you should too. So if you are someone that has a product, or not a product, but a story or something that you have authority in that you've overcome, whether it's trauma, whether it's something, that you've been through and you were able to overcome that, whether it's something in your sphere of education, whether it's something you learned in school and you want to package that into a book, I'd say go ahead, go for it. Go for it. If you didn't know, TPE also has a business sector where we are coaching people that are new to entrepreneurship. They just want to start some form of entrepreneurship, which I think everybody should be doing after 2020. I think we should learn our lesson that nothing in this world, when you're working for somebody else, is secure. People literally lost their job in a day. So I think that we should know by now that building passive income is highly, highly, highly important. We should not be just depending on our jobs. We love them. We hope for the best. But people literally got threatened to lose their job because they didn't take a vaccine. Okay. So I think that that should be value enough. So we help newer entrepreneurs that want to start a business, but they don't know how, specifically an online business, or want to build their online presence so that they can start a business. We teach you all of the things that you need to know. Brand awareness, all about building a brand. We teach you about marketing. Why is it that your product or your service isn't selling? Is it that you don't have a golden product or service? Absolutely not. What you have is actually genius and somebody needs it, but you're probably marketing to the wrong people. If you're trying to target an older population, likely they're not on TikTok. If you're trying to target a younger population, they're likely not on Facebook. So knowing your market, knowing how you're going to market properly, we coach you in all of these things. We also coach you and consult you. So there's a consultation wrapped in that coaching. Usually they're different, but there's a consultation wrapped in that coaching on how to write a book. You're not getting this anywhere else. How to write a book. You're going to get that knowledge straight from someone that's written 3 paperback books and 1 ebook. And I've seen, even till this day, how I have been able to leverage the fact that I have those books and even be talking to you right now and make that passive stream of income. You're not doing this just for money, right? You're not just writing a book just to write a book. If you're even doing that, it's a waste of your time, because it does take some time and effort and thought to write a book. So you're not just doing it to make money. You obviously want to impact lives. You obviously want to get a story out there, but that is one of the, I was about to say side effects, but that's obviously one of the benefits of writing a book, right? But I'd say this, we help you to write a book. We also teach you a little bit, very topically, on securing your intellectual property. Let me say that again. On securing your intellectual property. It's super important that you know about this, guys, because some of you guys have some genius things that you're releasing out there and it's not protected. So we teach you how to secure your LLC, your trademark, very topically with the information that we have. What is an LLC? What is a trademark? What is copywriting when you're writing a book or some form of, coursework or material? You want to secure that. So we teach you all of those things. We teach you how to use digital platforms to create products, so these are all things that you need when you're building a business. And so these are the things that we're teaching you. Another thing that we're also offering in TPE right now, and this is, limited space, but we're offering not book writing. You're gonna come to us with your book written, but we can help you co-write and edit, but book consultation and publishing services. So we're gonna help you to go from editing your book, getting your book cover, getting your book put into the format needed, your paperback format or whatever. And then we're gonna also help you to get all of your promo stuff, and then we'll help you to publish your book. So it's one big package. And so these are things that we're doing, and this one is limited. This one is limited because it takes a lot of capacity to do this one. So we have the coaching that is unlimited, and we usually do group coaching, and then we have the book consultation. If you know that this year, 2025, is the year that you need to get your story out. This is the year that the world needs to hear what God has done for you and what you've overcome. Whatever the case may be, if you know that this is your year to get your story out there, then I would highly recommend that you go over to thepurposedeagle.com, and I will leave the link below, and you secure your book consultation / publishing. Okay, you're going to get a good package And this is all for your one-stop editing your book, getting your cover done, getting your your copyright done, getting your ISBN number secured, right? Because you don't want to just write a book. If you do, that's good, but you can have an ISBN number so that people can scan that and literally track your book. It makes your book a little bit more official. So you'll get that. You'll also get us to publish your book. You won't have to go through traditional publishing, but you'll do self-publishing, and we will self-publish your book for you. That means that you'll have your books on demand, and you'll be able to sell your books as you please, as you like, and you'll get, whatever you'll get from your books. So if you know that this is for you, then I would run over there and go get your book. I'd go and secure that right now. But as I said before, I'm ending the live here. Go ahead and subscribe to our channel. If you like the content over here, we are a faith-based community over here. My name is Deshanti Genus, but my husband and I are founders of a faith-based community. It's just a community where we encourage people to fulfill their purpose that God has called them and put them on the earth to do. You're going to find and fulfill your purpose here in the Purposed Eagle, but we also have a business sector where we're helping young, new, fresh entrepreneurs get their business off of the ground, and from just a thought to an actual tangible business, preferably online business. I personally am very passionate about that. And then last but not least, as I'm telling you guys now, we're also doing book consultation and publications. We have a book that's actually being released early this year. We have two actually early this year, the first quarter of the year, by the grace of God. Really excited, where we are actually writing this book for this individual and editing it, and then we're going to do a launch party for them so that they can have the whole official experience of having their book, having their first product, and setting them up so that people can actually buy their book. And just anything you're doing, you want it to be an experience, and that's what I believe my morals are where the business is concerned. Anything that you're doing, you want to have an experience. Don't just write a book to write a book. Let it be a whole experience. Let you selling your book tell its own story. Like, let people leave feeling like, I'm so glad that I came to this book launch. Like, I'm so empowered that I want to go and write my own book. I want to go and do my own educational or whatever. I want to go find my purpose and pursue it, right? That's how I want you to leave when you encounter TPE and encounter our business. So love you guys so much. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're over here, and if you're watching, just leave a thumbs up. Why not? It's free. You're here already. We want to push the algorithm and make sure that we get all of this goodness out to the world, right? So love you guys, and I'll see you later.